Deepwoken race tier list. Now, I'm gonna be so real with you. I wanted to do this video like yesterday, but I didn't really have time for it. So here we are today with this Deepwoken race tier list video. And some things that I want to say off the start is this is going to be based on my opinion and my knowledge that I have on the game. I'm going to be basing this mainly off of the race passives and situations I could see the race doing good in, or like how useful the race would be towards a player. And I also want to say this at the start, races in this game, they really they help, but it's not help that's gonna just like put you leagues and leagues ahead of other players unless you have a certain race, but we're gonna get to that. Anyways though, every single race, like I can lose to the worst race on this list and I can have the best race on this list. From my opinion, it really comes down to skill, and I just want to clarify that in case you think that like since I ranked your race at the bottom that is bad or anything. So I just wanted to get that out the way before people start molding about their race being at the bottom. They're like, oh, I could 8v2. Okay, anyways though, it's time to actually start ranking off the races, and I'm just gonna jump straight into this. So I'll probably have the race passives up on the screen, and then I'll just start talking about the race and where I want to rank it. And for the first race, we have Addre. Now Addre, I'm gonna be so real with you. This race, this race, it literally has to go up there. There's a way for you to have this race and get 2 stat points or 3 stat points from each level up, because it already comes with the auto dictat trait, and pretty much what that trait means is you get 1 stat point from leveling up. So since it already comes with this race, and then if you choose it in your talents, or like pretty much your buffs that you choose before the game, you have 2 stat points each time you level up, which means that you'll be progressing 2 times faster, and you'll always have more stat points than pretty much any other race. Addre, like, even though it's the most common race because it's actually 20%, it is one of the best races in the game. If like, it's definitely top 3 races in the game. I can confidently say that. If you get this race, you are lucky. Like, it doesn't even look bad too. Like, Addre is really just a hella good race. So if you get this race and you're thinking it's bad because it's common, trust me, it's not. You are progressing very, very fast, because like extra stat points, it's just always a good thing. Anyways, we're moving on to the next race, which is Vesperian, and let me actually read the passive for this before I buff it. Before I rank it again. And this race gives you +2 fortitude and 2 willpower, but you also gain extra armor. And I'm going to be real with you, that is just flat out good. Honestly, I'm putting this in A tier. It'll probably be like lowish A tier or probably high B tier for me. Extra armor in this game, it's always just to help. The one thing that I realized in this game is that your armor goes down so fast from just getting hit. Literally every time I go out to explore with my friends, or like I'm on an island, my armor just goes down very, very fast. Because like if I'm PvPing with them, because you know, like we just trash talk each other and we just want to fight, or if I'm just fighting NPCs, my armor literally gets obliterated so fast. So the fact that this race is giving you extra armor on top, like, it's really just a benefit, which is exactly why I'm going to place it up here in A tier. So yeah, Vesperian, if you get this race, it's also very, very good. I'm still ranking it below Addre, because if I'm being honest, having an extra stat point is just better than extra armor no matter what. Alright, so the next race that we have is Kennor. So for this one, you get 2 strength, 2 charisma, and you also have reduced team damage. I'm gonna be real with you, I'm putting this in C tier. It's not bad, but it's like, if you're fighting your friends, you're at a disadvantage. And even if you're not inside the guild, there's practically no passive for this race, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, I'm thinking for these races as if you're like a solo player, and you're just progressing with probably 1 friend, 2 friends, nothing higher than that, not like a gigantic guild. But doing less damage to your teammates is definitely good, but if you're fighting them, you're also at a disadvantage. Like, you wouldn't really fight your teammates, you know, to like grip them and kill them, like if you're just sparring. Plus, it really just isn't it, because if you're not in a guild, you're practically getting no buff. Honestly, I think I'll just put it in D tier. And remember, this is purely my opinion, but this race to me is probably the one I definitely would not want the second most. Yeah, the second most. I really don't see the use for it, especially if you don't plan on joining a guild. It's kind of forcing you to join a guild. And the next race that we're doing is actually Ganyumade. So for this one, you get 2 intelligence, 2 willpower, and you are immune to insanity. This is automatic A tier. I'm putting it in front of Vesperian. Some people think that this race is mid, and it's actually the rarest race inside the game, but not being able to go insane, it is so beautiful. I might even put this at a low S tier, but like, it depends on the player. Actually, I'm gonna put it, I'm just gonna leave it at the top of A tier. Alright, I'm gonna leave it at the top of A tier. Cause like, think about it, right? Not going insane. Literally, I don't know if you've seen any of the death videos, but the loot down there is crazy good. Like I'm talking about like the dark steel greatsword, the iron gun spear. So much good loot and armor are in the depths, and the fact that you can stay there infinitely and farm, yeah, it's like a huge risk, but not going insane is honestly beautiful. I see why this race is so rare, because having people in the depths just farming there easily would probably make it like there would really be no point to the islands above. So this race, it deserves to be that rare, and I feel like it's that rare for a good reason. I might even push it up to low S, but for right now, I'm just gonna leave it at like the top of A tier, just because of how good it is. Not going insane is just beautiful. And the next race, which is personally my favorite race inside the game, is Con. For this one, you get 2 strength, 2 agility, and you can equip things at lower stat points. Now, as much as I just want to put this race in automatic S tier, I would be lying if I said that. This race for me is going in, yeah, 4th place on the A tier. Oh, that's actually 3rd place. 3rd place on the A tier. I feel like it can go in front of Vesperian. Actually, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Cause like, equipping things with less stat points required, that's just good. Like, it's really just good. There's no downsides at all. I remember this time, like I want this 45 requirement medium shield, and I could just get it at 42 or 43. It's like, it's really just comes reliable when, you know, like let's say that you're like level 40 and it's hard for you to rank up, or like you're just like at your cap, and you have this race and you're like 2 stat points away. You can just equip it. Con, I'm telling you, actually, I'm gonna be realistic. I'm gonna put it behind this. Con is just good. There's nothing outstanding about it besides the way that the race looks. This gotta be, actually, I'm gonna make a race drip tier list probably next. But Con is just good, so I'm gonna put it at a low A tier. Definitely not in front of Vesperian or any of this other stuff. Alright, the next race is Renmore. And for this one, you get 2 strength, 2 fortitude, and you have a compass, and you also lose less hunger. This race is really just fair. The compass is probably the most useless thing inside the game. The compass is just a white line at like the top of your screen that kind of gets blocked by the game icon sometimes. So it's not really reliable, and the lose less hunger, I mean, it's honestly just a buff, which is true, but it's like you're just losing less hunger. It's really not hard to find food inside this game, especially if you're vegetarian. You can literally just eat like mushroom soup, which is so easy to make. Like, this race, it's really just fair. There's not really anything bad about it. It's not really anything good. It's just in the middle, which is not even bad. So yeah, that's what I would say for the Renmore race. I might even put it in C. Nah. Moving on to the Etrian race. This race gives you 2 agility, 2 intelligence, and you take less damage in acid rain. It's not even being immune to acid rain. It's just less damage, and I'm getting this from the comments, so my bad if it's wrong. But the fact that it's not even just immune to the acid rain, it's like, bro, really? I mean, there's not really any reason to not make it just immune. It's kind of like a snake, and it makes sense. Like, snakes, they're not really affected by poison that much. Well, it depends on the type of snake. We're not gonna get into that. Anyways, though, Etrian, this race to me is like the worst one. It's not, like, if you get it, it doesn't even matter, which is like the worst part about it. If you get Etrian, the worst thing about it is that it's just like, you really just have it. I mean, I guess his skin color is white. There's not really anything good about Etrian race. Literally, it just gives you the 2 stat point buffs, which is pretty straightforward, and the passive sucks. Acid Rain, yeah, it's annoying sometimes, but it's like, does it really matter? Like, who really cares about Acid Rain? You can just sit down and heal at a campfire, and you literally out heal it. So Etrian, like, this race is definitely the worst one to me, because Kennor at least gives you something, which is usable. This is just like, oh, it's acid raining. I'm taking less damage from it. Yeah, it's not really the best. Alright, so the next race is Felonior. This race got a lot of history behind it, but for this one, you gain 2 agility, 2 charisma, I'm pretty sure, and you have increased stealth, plus you also get better parkour on wooden surfaces. I'm gonna just put this in C tier. Honestly, I think that Felonior, like, it should just have a speed buff where it's just faster than most races in general. Cause like, if you really think about it, it's a cat, and cats, they're very agile. Like, they move around pretty quickly, so like, it makes sense for this race to have better parkour on like wooden surfaces and things like that. But most of the time in Deepwoken, you're going up mountains and rocks and stuff like that, so it doesn't really help unless you're at like Addre or Vigils, I guess. Actually, no, not even that. It doesn't really help unless you're at Addre and you're just jumping from place to place, because there's not much wooden surfaces in Deepwoken. Well, trees actually count, but you're not even on trees that much too. So yeah, like, this race, it's good. I feel like it can get better if it just gets like pretty much just a passive speed boost is what I would say. But yeah, Felonior, it's not really the best race. It really isn't. Alright, and now the race that we're on to is Celator. So for this one, you gain 2 agility, 2 intelligence, I'm pretty sure. I'll just have it up on the screen right now. And you also pay cheaper for ships. I think ships have 10% extra XP, and you lose, and it takes less cash to buy them. I'm not really sure, but I know that the passive goes somewhat like that. Actually, I'm gonna check again before I rank it. Alright, yeah, so it's 10% extra health for ships, and ships cost less money, which is actually pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll put it at low B tier. I definitely think that this race is above all 3 of these, and I haven't even seen a Celator in the game at all. So I can't really say much about it, but 10% extra health for ships, that's like, it's just a nice benefit. And just, and like ships being cheaper, it's also just a nice benefit. So I think it's pretty fair. I would just put it at low B tier behind Renmore. Yeah, okay, yeah, I feel confident with Celator being here. And the next race is Lightborn. I don't know anything about this race, but what I've heard is that it gives you 2 to every single stat, plus it has another passive. I'll try to search it up and find information for it on the screen, but just in case I can't, I'm just gonna put it at S tier. Having +2 for every single stat is just good. So yeah, there's no way it would be unobtainable if it was bad. So it makes sense. Like, I'm just gonna put Lightborn in S tier. And the one race that we're actually missing from this tier list is Capra, so I'll just use this image as a substitute for Capra. But Capra, the buff for Capra varies on your skin, and I know the one that I have because on my second slot I have Capra and I have the blue skin, so I gain, like, if I'm around people, they don't go insane, which is honestly like very good. I'll have what the passive does for Capra up on the screen, but honestly, I'm pasting Capra at the front of B tier. So like this image right here, I'm using it as Capra because Capra isn't actually on the list. But Capra is at the front of B tier for me. Like, if you just choose the blue skin color, I feel like that's the best one because the other ones give you a health buff and a food buff. A food buff is useless. Literally just go eat some food and just make it. A health buff, I mean, it's not bad, but it's just like you regen a little bit faster. You can just sit at the campfire. It'll take you like an extra 5 to 10 seconds. Getting the insanity one is just better because being able to stay in the desk longer is always just a benefit. So yeah, this is my race tier list. This last one down here is the same as Khan, which is why I didn't rank it because it's like the same 2 headbands. So I'm just gonna leave this last one all the way down here. Just act like it's not even on the list. But yeah, this is my Deepwoken race tier list. Yeah, I have everything in place: Addre, Ganyumade, Vesperian, Capra, Renmore, Felonior, Kennor, and Vesperian. So yeah, that's all the races for Deepwoken. If I do end up missing a race, I'm gonna look like a big idiot, but hopefully I'm not. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm pretty confident on this tier list, and don't forget, it doesn't really matter on your race. You can very much be an Etrian and you can beat up somebody with Addre, Ganyumade, Vesperian. Like it really just depends on the player and the skill behind the person. So keep that in mind. Don't just reroll your race because a YouTuber ranked it bad. Anyways though, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was pretty fun for me to make, especially since it's based off of my opinion. I'm still expecting some comments down below, but hey, I'll try to read them, so feel free to just leave comments, any information that you want to give me, and thanks for watching. If you liked the video, then like and subscribe. Bye.